Hello everybody, it's that college football guy. Another video. I was having the phone kind of like down here, but unfortunately get the light from the light, so it doesn't look too good. So I got to put it up here, and still shows up a little bit, but not as bad. But anyway, that's not here nor there. I'm here outside of Nashville, sitting in the sleeper. It's been running like crazy all day, but this is conference realignment. What am I talking about here? Now we already know the story. Coach Khakis is doing his stuff. Jim Harbaugh. I'll get into those in another video because the coaching carousel. I was gonna do one, because San Jose State just recently got their thing done, but Harbaugh may be leaving, in which case another round is going to go down here. And I'm basically, instead of doing it, I usually do updates of the coaching carousel. I'm going to do one once the Harbaugh mess gets done. And all that gets set. And like, okay, let's go through and see who has played musical chairs to all of this. Along with the quarterbacks that keep moving around because they're the linchpins to all this stuff, and they recruit other players to come in the transfer portal. But that's not here for now. The question about this one is about the American. Now, how bad will the American be if the ACC falls apart? Now, I did scenario videos about the ACC, not the grant of rights, but the buyouts occurring, Florida State, other schools leaving, the ACC members themselves, and they're probably losing 4 schools. And where would they get them from? I mean, I've done the ACC. Who would the Big Ten go? Who is the Big Ten's targets? Who are the SEC's targets? Who would the Big 12 like to get? Would the ACC take from the Group of 5? Could they possibly lure Big 12 schools? I did this whole thing. But the problem is, let's just do the scenario involving the American, because the American presents the most realistic options if they can't get a Power 5 school, and that is to get South Florida, to get Tulane, to get Memphis, maybe get UTSA, another school in Texas, get a Rice, something that can create a jumping point off of the middle of the country as a way from going out east to go out west to Cal and Stanford to help them. But this all rolls downhill. So they get those schools. Where does the American go? Now, last time, when the Big 12 took Houston, Cincinnati, and UCF, they raided Conference USA. Why they raid Conference USA? And they considered raiding the Mountain West. Why? Because those were the 2 conferences who didn't have TV deals with ESPN. Well, now Conference USA has a TV deal with ESPN. So they're not going to go there again. Maybe. Most likely not, because what major markets are in Conference USA right now? Liberty. That's it. And Liberty is a long shot candidate, potentially even going to the ACC. Long shot at best. But that's the only consideration there. So the problem is they go there, but where are they going to go? They're going to go to the Mountain West, the only conference left that does not have a TV deal with ESPN. Besides the Big Ten, which are definitely not getting anywhere from the Big Ten. They're not going to get the Mountain West. Because the Mountain West, if the thing goes through with a new Pac-12, new Mountain West, whatever the heck it ends up being, they're going to have a new deal, and it's going to pay more than the American. Because the American's making $7 million a year, the Mountain West is making 4, almost 5. You had Oregon State and Washington State, they're going to be 8, 10, at best, possibly in a long shot, 12. Which is more than the AAC pays. Maybe schools for the American be going like, you know what? Especially the school, but that's another video. That's another video. I'm not going to ruin that one and this one. But here's the point. Where would the American go? They're not going to be able to raid for the Mountain West. There's also the other possibility. If the ACC loses a lot, let's just say they lose, I figured the doomsday scenario, they lose 10. That's doomsday. I mean, that would be like the Big Ten taking, let's say, because North Carolina's cooled on the Big Ten, let's say they get, and Florida State's not getting academically in, let's say, because right now they're still not there, but let's just say for the sake of this argument, they get Virginia and Miami. The SEC takes Clemson, takes Florida State, takes Virginia Tech, takes NC State. Now you're at 6. The Big 12, let's just say they couldn't get Virginia. Couldn't get Virginia or Virginia Tech. They couldn't get NC State. But they're going to go get Louisville. They're going to go get Pitt. Now, where would they go from there? Would they go for Georgia Tech? Would they do something else? But let's just say let's do that. So 8 to, but you get the idea. It could be 8 to 10 schools. They're going to go after who they can get. I mean, the obvious choice right off the jump is they go after UConn, an independent. I mean, if they lose somebody and they go more than 3 teams, UConn gets a phone call yesterday. I've gone over this. Oregon State and Washington State can get a phone call immediately because they're not under granted rights. They don't have to pay a buyout right now. They can just go, and the Pac-12 dies. They could go forward with this, and they could go after the schools. Let's say they lose 10 schools. If they lose 10, you got to add 7. You add UConn, you add Oregon State and Washington State. That still leaves 4. You'd have to get USF, you get Memphis, you get Tulane, you get UTSA. There's your 7. Okay, Mountain West back down to 12, Pac-12, whatever the hell, right? Whatever that is over there, that's over there. And their TV deal is going to be the same as it is. The only reason that the American is getting $7 million a year is because they added all those schools for value. Because they lose what brands are left, they're not getting $7 million. They're going to get about the same as the Mountain West, 5. 4. Mountain West gets 4, the ACC would get 5. And that's with adding, because who are you going to add? You're not going to add anybody from the Mountain West, Pac-12. That's not happening because they're not leaving. You're going to take a $20 million buyout to make the same amount of money you're making now and have more travel costs. No, stupid. No, you're not doing it. Air Force is under consideration. They might do it. They'd be idiots, but the point is that's an outlier. Where are they going to go? What if they lose more than 4? American loses more than 4 schools. You lose 4, you're down to 10. They have to have 4 more to make value. What if they lose more? What if Oregon State and Washington State, they choose not to go after? What if they choose to go after Rice and Buffalo for the academics? But since this is TV money, I don't think so. They go after do that. But if they lose, like I said, you lose 10, like I said, that's 7 you got to come up with. Unless you want to make them happy and you have to add 10. But the point is this is what I'm getting at. Where are they going to go? There's no brands left in comp. You're going to get Liberty? You're going to go where are you going to go? Here's the thought. Would the Americans steal, since they have, the Mountain West is not going to be available, would the Americans steal from the Sun Belt? Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, James Madison, maybe still Liberty from Conference USA. To be their schools. Conference USA gets hurt, but they can get an FCS and fill that up. What happens to the Sun Belt? I mean, what happens to them? Does the Sun Belt go on there? Do they do something crazy? Would the Sun Belt merge with Conference USA? Would the Sun Belt merge with the American? All of these are moving pieces because it's like we don't know what's going to happen. And it all depends on how many schools, if any, the ACC loses. Now, their own admission, most of them hearing, is 4. They're figuring 4 are going to leave. Possibly more. It depends what the buyout amount is. Because it's going to be a negotiation for a buyout. So how much the buyout is will determine how many schools can leave. Who can afford to leave? Is it a lump sum payment? Can be made over X number of years. Which if it's X over years, that makes it a lot more different. Not different, I should say. That means that the donors, the boosters, can generate money and donate to help pay for that. But I just started thinking about it, going like, okay, the American loses schools. Where are they going to go? You'd have to rave for another ESPN conference because the Mountain West schools, they tried this before. They tried grabbing Boise State, and one of them is a football-only member. They tried this before, 2020. There was an invite for them to do it. But because they could not find an invite for the Olympic sports, they said no. Boise State's on an island. Unless they get into the Big 12, they're staying in the Mountain West. That's basically their only option. They can't do another group of 5. They stay where they're at. San Diego State, like I said, this whole merger thing happens. Well, what happens? Why don't you tell me what you think? If the American loses 4 schools, because of conference realignment, where are they going to pull from? I mean, the logical thing for me is thinking they're going to have to go to the Sun Belt. And because the American makes more money, and it can be more of a value for ESPN. I mean, would they do something completely crazy and try to, like I said, would they take the American and go together with take teams from the Sun Belt and Conference USA? Would they just try to do Conference USA for some crazy reason? Try to add UTEP and Middle Tennessee State because it's near Nashville, and add Liberty, and because Jacksonville State's did so good recently, add them or something. Like, what are they going to do? They have they stayed away before because there was non-ESPN conferences. Now everybody except for the Mountain West is ESPN. Actually, the Mountain West and the Pac-12, and they're joining forces. But Oregon State and Washington State could be in the ACC. There's also the possibility that the Pac-12, that the ACC says no to Oregon State and Washington State because they're not academically high enough and they don't have big enough TV markets. So why don't you let me know what you think? If the scenario is simply this, the American loses schools, at least 4, where are they going to pull from? They're going to have 14 in order to make money. Like I said, the Mountain West is out because it's too far out west, and basically costs are even, so why would you leave? And they're looking at making themselves look better, so that way the Big 12 would be interested. So you're not going to jump to another group of 5 that's a jumbled mess that when their contract goes up is going to get cut, most likely. And all the good schools are looking to get the hell out and get into a Power 5 or Power 4 or autonomous or whatever the heck it is at this point. Like I said, so if they leave, who do you think they should go after? If they lose at least 4, who do you think they're going to go after? My 4 I'm thinking they would lose is they'd lose Tulane, AAU. They lose, and Tulane, Louisiana, good school, AAU status. South Florida, Tampa market, good school, AAU status. They go after Memphis, not AAU, but a good football brand, a big market, and the television network would demand it, ESPN. That's another thing I'm going to get into. That's about the TV deal, about ACC realignment. That apparently the ACC screwed everybody over, including ESPN. That's the video for tomorrow. Because there's a little bit of notification about that one if anybody didn't know. But doing all of that, lost my train of thought for a second. They go that you take South Florida, you take Tulane, you take Memphis. Do you go TV market like ESPN would demand and do UTSA? Or are the academics going to win and get part of the Houston market and take Rice because they're AAU? Because there are plenty of people I've heard that are the academics that want the AAU schools, want an all AAU conference. The best group of 5 AAU university or tier 2 or whatever the heck you want to call it. But if you were doing this and the American lost 4 teams, who would you go for? Why don't you let me know in the comments. So thanks everybody for watching the video. I've rambled my ass on long enough. If you haven't done already, do me a favor, smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, helps maybe see more people. Comment on the video. I love hearing everybody. Share the video. And I want to give a very, very big thank you to everybody. 500 subscribers. We're at 503. Thank you. The way it was going is at one point, for those who haven't been paying attention recently, go up to 492, back down to 476. Up to 494, back down to 478. It was just doing this yo-yo bit. And I was getting annoyed. And now it's like boom, 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 boom. Finally there. Let's keep it there and let's keep this going and keep this growing. The road to 600. I've been for a while. I was beginning to think I wasn't even going to say that. The road to 600 starts today. If you like the videos, check out some of the other ones. I try to do college football content every single day. Life sometimes gets in the way, but I try to do it every single day. Like the videos, subscribe to the channel. On the way to 600. Slow and steady, baby steps. So thanks everybody for watching. Please be safe out there. It's to be. I just finished delivering. Dropped actually here in Nashville for somebody else to deliver tomorrow because I got to pick up a trailer 4 miles from here and go back in the snow up to Toledo, Ohio for Thursday delivery. So I got out of played the snow all last week, and I was down in Alabama and South Carolina and Georgia. I was enjoying being warm, and now I'm back up in the snow again. So it goes, life of a trucker. So thanks everybody for watching. I got to get something to eat and get to sleep because morning's going to be here soon enough. Thanks everybody for watching. Be safe out there. Thank you for giving me the 500 subscribers. Thank you very, very much to all of you. I greatly appreciate all of you. And please, be good to each other.